All right, now this is the time of the day where we do our AMA, our Ask Me Anything, and we ask all our OpenShift product managers, engineers, upstream contributors to come up here. I mean, don't be shy. Really, this is the time. Please join me. Now it's getting awkward. And any speakers that would also love to come up and answer any questions. We have 2 people with microphones, so start raising your hand and they'll start coming around if you have any questions. And we're going to do some quick intros because the other reason all of these people are up here, and more will come up. The reason is so that you can see people's faces, so that throughout this week you know who to go to, you run into, ask some questions. So it doesn't have to be just now, right? So quick intro, I already did earlier, but again, I'm OpenShift product manager on Foundations, so upstream. And Issa.
Yeah, hello, hi everyone. My name is Issa. I am the Red Hat product manager in charge of Red Hat single sign-on, Red Hat below Keycloak. So those are the commercial product based on the Keycloak upstream project. So you have seen a couple of talks on Keycloak. So.
Hi, Piotr Gorski, IBM. I'm the architect of IBM Containerized Software Platform. I was doing security breakout.
Hello everyone, I'm Grégory Charot. I'm the product manager for OpenShift Storage and OpenStack.
Hi everyone, Ramon Romanis in here, product manager for the migration toolkit for applications, the downstream distribution of the Conveyor project.
Hey everyone, I am Adel Zaloug, the product manager for hosted control planes. Also a lot of work in the CAPI projects upstream. So happy to be here and answering questions.
My name is Dan Walsh. I work on low-level container technologies.
I'm Jan Szafranek. I am tech lead of upstream Kubernetes 6 storage and working on anything storage related in OpenShift.
My name is Maciej Szulik. I'm one of the steering committee members for Kubernetes project these days. I'm also behind everything Kubecon related, the majority of the controllers, so behind SIG apps, and I'm currently one of the staff engineers behind the entire OpenShift core platform.
Hi, I'm Mo Duffy. I'm a UX designer and I worked on Podman Desktop, so if anybody has questions about that.
There's a question over there.
No one talk about virtualization, but who is in charge of the virtualization and the OpenShift virtualization? Don't be ashamed. Yeah, because today, you know, we have a lot of pressure from clients right now about VMware for good reasons. Reason we've been waiting for years, by the way. And right now, what's the plan? You know, how you plan all what you're doing, integrating on OpenShift virtualization specific. You know, do you have a specific line in different area you are dedicated to this part?
I am going to make a quick plug. Is that on Thursday we do have a keynote at KubeCon, and I think we have some of our friends here from Goldman Sachs. I know I talked to you, but we'll have Goldman Sachs talk about their use of KubeVirt. So it's not talking OpenShift virtualization, but KubeVirt, and Fabian will be here. And find Fabian. He'll be at the Red Hat booth. He'll be at the KubeVirt booth in the project pavilion. And I know, Andrew, if you're still here, you're welcome to come up too and talk KubeVirt. But would you like to?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get of course, there's a lot going with Broadcom, the acquisition with VMware. We're not going to go to customers and say, hey, you know, you have the immediate alternative. OpenShift virtualization gives you an option to bring your workloads on OpenShift and Kubernetes. Yes, there will be gaps. Yes, we're going to continue to support customers who are running vSphere in their environment. This is basically one of the largest providers that we have in our fleet. We're going to keep supporting people who are running it. So whatever the need is, we're going to make sure it's satisfied, and OpenShift virtualization is a pretty good, has a pretty good outlook to solve problems like overcommit, hot swap, and even get you to provisioning clusters as if you're doing it on a cloud provider. So there is a great roadmap for OpenShift virtualization, and I'd say, customers should start to look into what open virtualization can and cannot do, give us the feedback, and help us fill the gap. So when things are at a space where, oh, I'm out of support, then you know whether you can use OpenShift virtualization for your use case or not, and if not, we'd love to hear from you. So.
Okay, so then let's continue with some more VMware talk. How about hosted control planes on vSphere? When? And peer pods on vSphere? When? My clients would like to know that.
Cool. I'm still holding the mic, so I'm just going to continue. So we have multiple flavors of hosted control planes, right? We have the managed offerings. You're going to find, you can already deploy ROSA with hosted control planes on AWS, or have a roadmap for Arrow, and then also on OSD in the future. On self-managed, we have brought you the option since 4.14 to provision on-prem and using OpenShift virtualization, which should be your first option if you're going greenfield. If you already have a cluster, or if you're already using vSphere, we are introducing a new option to provision using the agent provider and join those vSphere nodes to your cluster. It's not going to be native CAPI as we do with the other provider, but it will give you an option to join those nodes. And the agent provider is a pretty smart way to get nodes to the cluster. Basically, you either boot from an ISO or create a bare metal host. It's not bare metal, but you can think of it as fake bare metal. But any host or any VM that can boot from an ISO would be able to join, regardless of the hypervisor underneath. So I guess that's for the hosted control plane part. For the peer pods, I was the PM for sandbox containers. I'll tell you some of the things that are going. So there is a lot of development with Azure and AWS. Generally, we were looking to solve the problem of I can't run it on the cloud provider because there's no bare metal. Like the requirement to bare metal existed, and that prevented a lot of folks from adopting OpenShift sandbox containers. Hence why we're also thought about peer pods as a way to bridge the gap and bring those sandboxed workloads to the cloud. So the initial intention was, hey, let's bring them to the cloud. Whether we're going to bring it to vSphere, whether we're going to do an integration, peer pods basically bases on a concept called remote hypervisor, and that basically says, I'm going to start a pod, and that pod is going to spin off either on the cloud, on a dedicated instance, or potentially, maybe, if there's a use case for it, vSphere. We have no use case for it yet. So there's no much use cases for people who want to use peer pods on vSphere. If you have, talk to me or anyone else. I think Pradipta and Jens are here. If not, they will also help with that.
Hi, hello. I'm Krishna. I'm from Korber Pharma, and we sell our pharma software to many of our clients. And initially, our software was based on Windows-based installation. Then we moved to Docker Swarm, and now we mostly use Kubernetes. And that's where many of our clients are interested in OpenShift, and I work with clients on implementing OpenShift. At the same time, we have really small customers who don't want to spend a lot of money on deploying OpenShift. If you look at OpenShift, especially Red Hat, Quay, it's pretty expensive. And clients are like, oh my God, that's a lot of investment. I remember that 2 or 3 years ago, there is something called MicroShift, right? And I see that their GitHub page is not updated, or it's... So I just want to see, do you have any updates on the MicroShift, or that project is now... oh, there you go.
Can you raise your hand, because I can't see you at the moment?
Here.
over there. Yeah. So my name is Daniel. I'm the product manager for OpenShift Edge, which includes Microshift. And the update is it went GA end of last year, but you might have missed it because technically the product name is called Red Hat Device Edge. Because we focus with Microshift on small form factor, field deployed edge devices, tiny ARM servers like 2 cores, 2 gigabytes of RAM, industrial IoT gateways, stuff like this. And so it has been productized. It has a special SKU, so you have to order, you have to buy that. It's not part of your OpenShift subscription because it has a different price point. Okay. So that solved this issue. And
is that
it has a roadmap.
Okay, sorry. Is that part of the Edge SKU which is available for customers?
It has its own SKU, which is called Red Hat Device Edge, but it is focusing on edge devices. So it has in mind edge deployments. We have also, OpenShift also has edge SKUs, edge pricing, because we expect that if you roll it out to like 500 retail stores, 10,000, whatever it is, things, factories, for example, that you get a kind of mass discount. That's factored into that SKU. So we have that to have competitive pricing for edge deployments. We have that for OpenShift, which is called the OpenShift Edge SKUs. And then we have Red Hat Device Edge, which is targeting the small things.
All right.
Yeah. And come by the Red Hat booth tomorrow morning. I will be there. And then I can show you the differences, because there are differences between Microshift and OpenShift. So Microshift is not OpenShift. It is derived from OpenShift. It is different. So your mileage will vary because it's really tiny and small, but that's the purpose of it.
But I can use it, download and install for test purposes.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have to apologize a little bit because you mentioned the Microshift.io site. We were so busy getting it to GA that we neglected that site.
Gotcha.
So it's on my backlog as a product manager to get this nice and beauty, but you can get access to it in a trial version. You can download it and play around with it. I just have to show you how. It is a little bit more complicated than it should be, yes.
Perfect.
But getting to GA was more important. We have
Thank you very
customers
much.
wanting it. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I do have another question. I like the presentation about SC Linux, the Linux talk, but what about ePBF and Cilium? Integration into OpenShift.
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about eBPF, so no real answer. Is here anybody?
What is the question? Like, so what are you asking about specifically?
ePBF brings a lot of value of the macro segmentation when you deploy in your containers and no.
The only thing I can say to that is I've seen it on the roadmap. So the roadmap slide deck is 100 plus pages long, and if you look into that, you will find it. I think we are on a trajectory to get this productized, but I have no clues about details, and I think there's nobody for. Yeah.
I'm more interested. Yeah. So you asked about. Do you want to know about eBPF in general, or are you?
No. I know ePBF and Cilium. We've a discussion about client, about micro-segmentation, multi-cluster, and so on. And as we had in the past by SC Linux, and today I think what ePBF brings in the table through Cilium, the telemetry, and so on is really interesting for clients. Right. And it's really important to harden that in an operating system when you deploy a Kubernetes cluster, but that allows you to be more powerful when you deploy a platform, but also application on top on the way you're going to addressing observability and so on. Yeah, that's why, for me, it's an important part of what we're seeing in the ecosystem. You know.
Yeah, so I can say, so Cilium is a third-party CNI, right? We have a partner, it's a great partner. They help us get Cilium in there. So ePBF has been used a lot in a lot of the stack of OpenShift, especially in observability, network observability stack. It brings a lot of value in there. An OVN has in the roadmap, I think, it part of for integration, but microsegmentation is already a thing you can do with OVN, and because OVN at the end of the day uses OVS and underneath, and that is OFlow, OpenFlow, and at the end of the day, you're dealing with flows saying, you know, this flow has a source destination. You're doing microsegmentation in the host, and you have a northbound to do that. So I don't think ePPF is going to be the default for microsegmentation, but I'm not the PM for that. But it has been, at least when I talked to Mark last time about it, has been something that he's thinking about and the team is thinking about as a thing where customers don't want to use OVN for the extreme use cases. They can go that route. Yeah.
And I'll take it. Maybe to pick into the eBBF question as well, how about VDPA introduction and opening up DPDK from an OVS point of view into workloads for either virtual machines and or container-based for accelerated networks? Any thoughts on that?
I can say that there is research on this. I don't know if there's something that has been productized, so Mark is not here. I can't answer this one.
So for now, we're stuck with Ezra IV still. That would be the answer then.
Well, it's not stuck. The answer is not in this panel.
Okay, yeah.
Hi, this is a question about upgrades. So I think we've done quite a good job about getting the base OpenShift upgrades and the paths documented. But one of the challenges we see is the operators, and sometimes it's Red Hat operators, sometimes it's third-party operators, where you have to kind of mass upgrade them. And it'll be useful to have more guidance on what things will break if you're about to do an upgrade at the operator level. Is there anything being done around that?
So there is. The answer is yes. We're even developing a CLI to do, check the status of the upgrade and see what will break as a dry run. So OC status, give me what will break during an upgrade. At the same time, we're upgrading our lifecycle page to include, we're tight coupling the operator more to to OpenShift lifecycle. So in that sense, when you go to the OpenShift lifecycle page, you're going to see a very close coupling to when you upgrade this, you need to upgrade this. We even have a flag called upgradable or not. And that will be more enforced in the future. Now it's like up to the lead operator to decide. No, we have tiering now, and we're enforcing more rules on upgrades to not have this experience happen.
Anybody else? Oh, there's one.
Just final comment. A lot of customers are actually running disconnected, not partially connected, and for them, OC mirror is actually very important, and please work a lot on that one. It's not bad, but it can be improved.
What is the last work on what? I didn't hear
on
that.
OC mirror, the tool to mirror the images. It's very important for the financial services customers and also many others who need to deal with compliance.
Yeah, so it's definitely being worked on. It's constantly being worked on. We know how important it is to all the financial customers. Yeah, or not just FSI, it's any customer that needs to run in disconnected mode, right? But if you have specifics that aren't on the backlog, definitely relay that. Yeah, believe me, yes.
So yes, I know about some specifics, and I know they're being planned, or some of them even worked on. So yes, it is improving.
So, Fabian, if you want to come back up here. We have a question. Go for it.
Yeah, so I had a question around user namespaces. This has kind of been on the roadmap for a while now. Is there something we're going to be able to use in kind of GA anytime soon?
Yeah, since there were members of my team working on this and got it through, but I think it's, I believe it's the next release, isn't it? Yeah, it should be very soon. It should have been a year ago, or it should have been several years ago, but I think it's ready. It's just whether or not OpenShift has shipped it yet.
So 4.16, we should see it? Or?
I'm not a product manager.
So this is where we also share with you that there's over 100 product managers for OpenShift that work on different areas. And so we don't remember all the answers. The 100 and something pages that you get for the what's new and what's next, that's actually condensed from so many more. So I hate to say go look at the roadmap slides, but that's what we would have to do too right now. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and we do have a new bot in the OpenShift Commons Slack that you can ask, thanks to Ada. And Fabian is here. If you have another question about virtualization that is not roadmap related. Jonathan? Do you have another question? Okay. Right here. No.
Hi, thanks. My main question is regarding backups. For now, OpenShift visualization is just snap the volume and store directly on third provider. What about the file level restore? My main concern is for customer that we need to restore and we need to be sure that the data can be restored. How OpenShift virtualization can improve that, or do you work with other vendor and third-party provider?
That's a great question, and I think it's one of these areas where we have to look at increasing our partner ecosystem even more. So we have worked with vendors to improve our DR story, like backup and restore. But I mean, from a strategical point of view, technical strategical point of view, we rely on CSI, right? Because we need the problem of backup and restore. It's true for any persistent storage on OpenShift, right? So we're trying to beef up the ecosystem, to beef it up for OpenShift at large, but also specifically for VMs as well, right? So I cannot speak about the roadmap, but I know that in the past releases, we added a few more vendors to support backup and restore, specifically for VMs, right? With like, you know, for VMs, you have some kind of specific requirements, like freezing, like the gas to really flush it to the disk and all that stuff. So we've enabled a few partners, and we can take that offline to look at which specific ones you're looking for and the specific ones that we've enabled in the past year. But yeah, hope that helps.
Just in time. All right, is there another question? We're almost to break time. Okay, going. Oh, there's one more.
Hi, my question is about HyperShift. I was wondering whether this project is being, I see that it's been, GitHub it's been used all the time, but I'm not sure if anyone has ever taken up, do you have any clients that has been using this? Because it's quite an interesting concept.
Yes, we do. We have customers on-prem and we have customers on managed offerings, and we are using it even ourselves internally for our development workflow, for our provisioning bot. The reason you're seeing the repo gets updated because HyperShift is the project that we're developing upstream from. It is based on other upstream projects like Cappy and and Cube for sure, and all the ecosystem basically. So Hypershift brings you OpenShift, which is Cube at the end of the day, a strong opinionated distribution for your use cases. The product is called Hosted Control Planes, and it is part of the multi-cluster engine, which is part of the ACM ecosystem, I'd say, Advanced Cluster Manager. So if you want to use the product, you can go to either docs.openshift.com, look for Hosted Control Planes, or you can go to access.openshift.com, look for ACM documentation, and you're going to find detailed guides on how to deploy clusters using hosted control planes with bare metal, with OpenShift virtualization, and even tech preview on AWS. Not sure if that answered your question.
Hello. I have a question most related to the operator certification process. I don't know if someone can actually answer that, but I'm going to make it anyway. Currently, it's not possible to actually update anything when your operator is certified and put in the Red Hat catalog, not marketplace, operator hub catalog. Is there any plan in the future to change that? So, for example, if someone makes a mistake like adding a wrong channel or adding the wrong skip range, skip or replaces, stuff can be fixed and not, for example, I had this issue that my operator disappeared all versions because someone put the skip range wrongly. So is there any plan on fixing that?
You can fire a request for enhancement, and the PM will immediately look at it. Or you can go to Slack, OpenShift Commons Slack, and ask the question, and we're going to make sure that the PM is there to answer it. Well, did you do it? I didn't see it. Like, yeah, on Commons Slack, or? Okay.
Yeah.
We will talk tomorrow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Daniel is not here. He was going to be, but there is operator and OLM planning this week where they're talking about all that kind of stuff. So if you put it in the OpenShift Commons Slack today, we'll make sure they see it. Okay? All right. All right, in a good way. Piotr can actually.
So actually, the way how to fix operator is actually to put a new version of it, right? So to fix, skip range and things like that. And from IBM perspective, we are doing it on a daily basis. So if it's not happening for you, just, I guess it's a support ticket discussion.
All of them.
All right.
That is the issue. And basically, it's even if there's a skip range or something like that, there's another issue. The issue basically is being able to update the certified operator after it was uploaded to the catalog. This is more like Red Hat stuff. But the other side in the catalog may disappear, I don't know. No one at support was able to actually answer me.
Well, I guess if you're entirely broken, right, but by the fact, just open a support ticket, and I think someone will definitely work and go fix it, right?
I already did, and no one answered.
Guys here, right? I guess that will be take it offline, right?
Yeah.
It should be.
No. But you're right. It should be possible somehow to get that done.
Yeah. Yes. No, but seriously, tag me in the Commons Slack, and we'll follow up after. Okay. Well, I know. I think we need to understand it more. We'll follow up with you after. Okay. Any other? Okay, we have one more.
Hi. Yeah. Question on Podman Desktop. It's a wonderful tool, and it's a great replacement for Docker Desktop. However, our developers find adoption quite difficult because of the lack of integration with dev containers, which is a popular way of creating development environments and setting up build and development tool chains. And we see that integration with dev containers is quite difficult with Podman Desktop right now because of probably some low-level issues with permissions or user mappings, etc. Is there any way of easing the migration from Docker Desktop to Podman Desktop with regards to dev containers?
She hasn't talked yet.
Dan is probably better to answer this, but thank you for bringing that up. We definitely don't want that adoption path to be difficult. Is this something, I'm sorry to tell you this, but is this something you filed in GitHub?
Not yet.
Okay, because definitely it is an upstream open source project. We triage and review those requests in GitHub issues. And there's definitely something that I think we would love to dig into the specifics of what errors you're running into, and I'll pass it to Dan.
So Podman 5.0 is being released today or tomorrow, and that has lots of fixes for some of the API. Usually what happens in something like dev containers is they've coded to the Docker API and Podman service serving the API, and there could be some mistake there. So that might be fixed in Podman 5.0. I know we have people on our team who work on dev containers, so the best idea would be to open up an issue on it. And are you talking on Windows or on Macs?
Windows.
Windows. Okay. So actually, the core maintainer of Windows for Podman Machine is a dev container person. He works on the Java stack and things like that. So open up the issue, and we can look into that. Okay.
Right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, open that up on the Podman, not on the Podman desktop. Oh, and I will have the answer to the user namespace by tomorrow, so come and see me at the booth.
Sorry, the last one from my part. I see there is an ongoing project for integrating Ironic into Kubernetes, meaning to be used. Ironic, it's the tooling from OpenStack where you can manage bare metal server directly, and they plan to implement that into Kubernetes. Do you have a plan also to extend the virtualization to bare metal?
I think we've done so already, right? So MetalCube, in MetalCube we leverage Ironic. I'm not sure, I'm not the de facto expert on it, but it's related to virtualization, right? And you can use, Ironic is used as a backend for MetalCube in order to do bare metal deployment, reusing all that work that went into Ironic, right, for bare metal management. So it's there today. I have a sticker if you want that I can share with you. And yeah, if you manage bare metals, then you can also use, run VMs on top of it. And MetalCube is also used inside of OpenShift for bare metal management, like for fencing, for deployment, fencing, provisioning.
And I will just mention that MetalCube has also project kiosk during KubeCon, so you can go to talk to them during the KubeCon.
Hey, so someone was asking about PeerPods and vSphere. I'm the engineering manager, not the PM, but so please come find me. I would love to talk about this. And someone else was asking about VDPA. I can connect you with the right person in my team. All right, thanks.
Nice, thank you. And that just highlights exactly what this day is about, right? Thank you. Making connections.